My name is Andy Fallure, and I'm the pastor here at Calvary Chapel, Fort Walton Beach, and I'm also Sarah's dad.
My name is Sarah Fallure, and I'm in 10th grade.
Here's how I heard about the True North Project and what impressed me about it. I met Michelle Wright, who is from Live the Life, a couple years ago at a ministerial association meeting, and she introduced us to the Adventures in Marriage program, which we ran twice here at our church with overwhelming success, and I'd highly recommend that to any church, any program that would like to run it. I think you'll find it really helpful. And so because we had such great feedback from the marriage class and the relationship tips and communication tips that were there, I really had no hesitation about doing something for teens. And I was hopeful that it would address specifically some of the problems that our teenagers have because our culture and society has been so impacted by technology. We've lost the ability to nurture and begin embodied relationships, know what they are when they're healthy, know what they are when they turn toxic. And so I really had a lot of confidence that they would be able to address that and address it in a very mature, helpful way for teenagers where they'd have some confidence in relationships.
When I first heard about the True North program, I first thought that it was going to be very awkward and very crowded. I was not excited, not thrilled, but I thought it was going to be good.
Our culture is going through major changes because of the role of technology in our culture, and children are getting introduced to iPhones and iPads and screens, and it is drastically rewiring their brains and in some ways inhibiting their ability to develop emotionally or psychologically in a healthy way. And so, like never before, we have to address some of these issues, not necessarily by taking technology away, although that has a role and has a place, but that's not going to help anybody if we're not teaching people the positive ways, the proper ways to interact with other people. So in years past, we would train our young people how to address people, Mr. this, Miss that, hello, goodbye, here's how you shake hands, this kind of thing. But we've lost a lot of that in our culture and society. So when it comes to relationships and intimate relationships and close friendships and what's proper and what's improper, we're going to do a lot of training with that. Beyond that, many of our teens have been exposed to pornography, which gives the exact wrong way of interacting with another human being. And unfortunately, because of the pervasiveness of pornography and teenagers not being able to talk to their parents about it and filter it, process that, what we have is we have this normalizing of very toxic, very damaging, very destructive relationships with our teenagers. So what we really needed somebody to just simply explain what is a proper relationship and what is healthy boundaries, and then how do I navigate that, how do I speak to that, how do I talk about that, and how do I exit it if I need to.
Once the program started, I could tell that the other students were a bit more shy, on the shy side, and I felt like part of my job was to bring everybody together and make it into a safe environment where people could participate and speak freely and really just learn and be interactive with the class. And so I already had a few friends with me, but I tried to get people to sit together and try to, learn names, talk to people. And once the activity started and the class really got going and became interactive, it was so easy to click in with other people.
When I first read about the program, I really liked that the program was being used universally in the culture. So it's being used in churches and in homeschool groups, in schools, but it's also being used in detention centers and in foster care situations. And what that means is that this is basic information at a society level that is missing.
My experience with the True North staff during the program was amazing. They are all incredible. They are so kind and encouraging. You really feel like they care about you and everybody in the room, all the students, your life, your future. It was just so nice to have somebody in your corner.
Well, these people are a dream to work with. They're such nice people, and so they're full of grace, and they're full of love, and they love reality, and they love the truth, and have a genuine care for people.
One specific topic that really stood out to me during the program was learning the difference between love and infatuation, and really recognizing the red flags and toxic behaviors in especially romantic relationships, but also in close friendships, and knowing how to distance yourself from them. That lesson was very meaningful, just to know how to recognize where your relationships are going wrong and maybe to fix them, strategies to fix them, or strategies to step away and take a break.
Was there a moment or part of the program that stood out to me that was really especially impactful? I want to answer that question in two ways. Yes, 100%. The sort of the levels of relationship and levels of intimacy that have been, given numbers. This is number 6, this is number 8, number 13. This has been throughout our house and now part of the lingo of our church when it comes to relationships. Super helpful, made a big impact. And then being able to discuss these things and have language to discuss these things and be able to have the freedom to be able to talk about them and talk about them in a way that is not completely saturated with insecurity and being unsure. Man, this is super helpful because we can actually help people when we're surfacing these things and we're talking about, we're discussing them in a healthy way. So I would say those are the two most impactful things that we saw in the program, is language to be able to describe these things, and then taking away some of the mystery of what we're talking about and being able to talk about it in a helpful way. Yeah.
I'd say that the biggest thing students my age can learn from the True North program is that healthy relationships are important. They influence so much of your life and your future. And knowing how that impacts you and knowing that importance is just so enlightening. And you can apply it, and it's amazing to know. It's amazing to know what a healthy relationship is, what a bad relationship is, and just to differentiate that.
What was it like experiencing the True North Project from two different perspectives, one as a parent and one as a student?
A student perspective, the True North program was necessary. I needed it. It was really good and very practical, super practical to use in my own relationships and recognizing bad behaviors, toxic behaviors, and healthy ones, especially with the personality test. The personality lesson was so much fun to see in my other friends and recognize some of those traits.
Yeah, as a parent, it's just a tremendous blessing because it is able to surface all these topics and things you really do need to talk about, kind of don't want to talk about, but really do need to talk about, and now you're able to discuss these things openly in a healthy way. Just a tremendous blessing. And then to see her delight at the end of the class because she's being given these beautiful tools and language to discuss things. So yeah, 100%. It was great. Did the program lead to any meaningful conversations between the two of us at home? No. I just ignored everything she said after she came home. No. No, there was an incident. There was an incident in the program.
Yes.
And so there was an incident in the program where somebody was crashing through all the levels.
Yeah, somebody decided to take a sled and just go down that hill.
And we were able to discuss it and had language to discuss it properly. Man, what was really great for me was to know that my child now had a proper perspective of what was going on in front of her and language to discuss it. So
one lesson or idea from the program that I remember both of us talking about together was especially the 14 levels of intimacy. That one was a really big one. And then also the personalities, the 4 different personalities, the lion, the beaver, the golden retriever, the otter. It was just so much fun to come home and debrief about everything and just talk because there's so much new knowledge, and it was so much fun to talk about.
Yeah, it was fun to talk about. These programs, I think, are vital to being able to discuss things in a way that is not how they're being discussed on TikTok. It's because our culture and society has lost the ability to nurture and begin embodied relationships, and our teens have grown up with smartphones and with screens, and they don't play outside as much as they did before. They don't play at the playground as much as before. So they don't have the opportunity to develop relationships the way that prior generations have. And they really do need the prior generations to come and bring some support and help and instruction on how to do this well, how to do it properly, how to do it in a way that brings life instead of bringing destruction. So
For me, I've seen it with my friends. Technology and phones play a huge impact on the way we talk to each other. It's difficult sometimes to have a conversation without somebody pulling out their phone or getting distracted. And it's so important that we have programs like True North that are willing to talk about these things and just show us how, that's the way to how to do it.
Yeah. And parents often are dual income, and so they're both working outside of the home. Kids are at school all day or they're at home, and parents are tired. They sometimes don't know how to discuss these things in a healthy and proper way, and sometimes they're scared to discuss them. Sometimes they're not ready themselves emotionally to recognize what ages that their children are at and what they're encountering, and so kind of resisting, oh, I don't want to have this conversation. And sometimes we wait till it's too late, or we're playing catch up. And this kind of stuff is really, really helpful, and it'll come alongside really what parents are trying to accomplish with their children, and help get conversations started.
I think that the skills students learn in True North will help them for their future with recognizing bad relationships, recognizing toxic behaviors, but knowing how that can change the course of your life. One bad decision, one red flag can turn into a life of hardship. A life of hardship. And we saw it even with one of the students I was in the program with, and it's heartbreaking to see how at such an early age they don't know. They just don't know. And there's nobody to talk about with, and nobody wants, somebody might want to help them, but they don't know how. They don't know how to reach out. And so they're left alone, scrambling and trying to make up for this. And it's terrible. We need something to fight against it.
Yeah. Red flags are red flags for a reason.
Yeah.
And you don't even know what the red flags are. Like, at least know what the red flags are. And it's a red flag because it's a red flag. And their students need this type of training. They need this kind of help. They need this kind of lingo. This is a great organization to work with. The people that are actually administering the program are a dream to work with. It's going to take away some of the stigma of things that need to be talked about and need to be discussed. We are 100% in a war for the purity of our children, and the other side is not fighting fair. And the way the pen is mightier than the sword, the way to do that is through information, through truth, through speaking the truth in love and preparing our people. Listen, we cannot ignore what's going on and hope it goes away. It's not going to go away. We need to prepare people for what they're going to encounter in the world. And the world, unfortunately, sadly, is not the same as it was in the 60s. It's not the same as it was in the early 2000s. We're in a different place, and we need to prepare our children for it. We cannot shelter them from it.
If another student asked me what True North was like, I would tell them it's fun. It's interactive. It can be awkward, but it's a good type of awkward. It's important.